Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Siler Hyde, and here in Fort Wayne, coal is our most common power source. In fact, coal plants produce about 85% of our electricity. Annually, Indiana is among the top 10 coal-producing states in the nation, averaging 32 million to 35 million tons of coal each year. Most of the coal is produced by 15 companies from 24 active operations in southwest Indiana. Now, everybody, I would like to welcome Brian Reichard.
Hi, Siler.
So with your experience in coal mining, I would like to ask you some questions about mining and your experiences.
Sounds good.
Why do you think coal mining is important?
Coal mining is important because it is the cheapest form of electrical generation that we have had. Unfortunately, there's a war against fossil fuels these days. Coal mining has always been the steady eddy for the past 150 years as far as generating different products. Steel production, lime production for the farmers in their fields is all burnt with coal to produce the burnt lime that they reuse. They use it for various things. We actually had an order where we shipped coal to Poughkeepsie, New York, where they used it to make a spray-on coating for skyscrapers. The coating was less than half the weight of conventional concrete coating that they used on it. So for on a 100-story building, the amount of stress load on the frame was considerably less using our coal to produce that spray-on coating. So there's a lot more uses for coal than what a lot of people understand. But coal is important. We're finding as they tried to transition to solar and wind, they've been doing that for over 30 years, and the numbers don't favor it because unfortunately solar and wind has only produced enough electricity for a little over 4% of our needs on the power grid. Coal used to be 50 to 60% of the energy source came from coal for electricity. That is now down because natural gas has filled a lot of the voids. But we're throwing a lot of money into solar and wind, and it doesn't have the return that we would have got if we would have put some of that into clean coal technology. So yeah, maybe I'm a little biased because I've been in the business my whole life. But like I say, the numbers speak for themselves.
So how long did you run your company?
My company, I'm actually a third generation coal producer from Western Pennsylvania. I took the company over when I was 27 years old. My dad passed away in 1984, and I ran it from 1984 until last December when we were able to shut down because I reached retirement age. So what is that, 39 years, almost 40 years, I guess. So yeah, got pretty familiar with the industry. So.
And how much coal do you think that you mined over those years?
My company was a relatively small producer. We produced between 50 and 80,000 tons a year. So over 50 years, a lot. Maybe 3 to 4 million tons over those 50 years we produced. There's two basic methods for mining coal in Pennsylvania, well, everywhere for that matter. The one is underground mining, where the miners literally tunnel under the hill and stay right in the coal seam and don't deviate out of it or anything. And you never see them. They're under the ground all the time. Very dangerous, but very profitable and very productive. What we did was surface or strip mining, where we used big Caterpillar bulldozers and rock trucks and high lifts and everything. And we would remove the dirt from on top of the coal seam. The coal seams interestingly lay very, very flat, and you could just remove the rock right down to them and then load them out from there. That's the method that we use for it. That is one of the reasons the coal business has been falling away in western Pennsylvania. The amount of coal that can be reasonably produced like that is fewer and further between. Most of the seams that are able to be produced out of now are now deeper in the ground, where it's too deep to remove the dirt, so you got to go under the ground after it.
So why did you choose to strip mine instead of?
Strip mining, I graduated high school in 1975, and strip mining was in a boom phase right then. Anyone could get out of high school and go get a job at local coal companies. There was 33 different coal mining companies in my particular county at that time. 33 in, well, that was in the census in 1980. There was 33 coal companies. So jobs in the industry were very plentiful. They paid well. For a young man to be able to get out and get involved running heavy equipment of all kinds and everything, it was pretty exciting. When we retired last December, of those 33 coal companies in Clarion County, we were the last one. The others had all phased out or been run out, or just couldn't adapt to the markets fast enough whenever times got tough. So we were the last one standing in our particular county. So
what do you think the future of coal mining will look like?
oh boy, at this point, the coal industry is only surviving because of foreign orders. China is the heaviest producer, the heaviest consumer of our coal right now. India, the steel mills of India as well, are buying a lot of the coal that we're producing. We're actually shipping as much out of this country as what we're consuming here right now. The coal industry has seen a huge downturn in the number of coal-fired utility stations. Obviously, we didn't need all of them, but we're reaching the point where we're getting very close to the situation where the electric grid will not have enough power on it to supply our needs, and there could potentially be rolling brownouts or blackouts. Germany has went away from coal 20 years ago. They started on their trip toward non-fossil fuels like solar and wind power and all that, and they have found that it is not going to be enough to keep them going. Germany has actually, in the last 5 years, started a new campaign to open up coal-fired utilities again because the solar and wind is not doing it. I think personally, I feel the best option we have for electricity in the future is nuclear power, which is odd to hear a guy in the coal business say that, but that to me is the best bet we have. And unfortunately, we've had some major problems with nuclear power stations in the past, and so for that fact, they have pretty well put them away where they're not going to be able to do that either. So I think the coal industry has always been up and down. There's always been high points, low points, based on the energy industry in itself. Coal is actually even used to, some coal seams, they actually make oil out of it. Gasification, they'll get natural gas out of coal some places. In some places, they've even been able to extract oil out of the coal. So it's just very hard to say what's going to happen in the next 10 to 20 years as far as the energy situation in the world goes. But I don't think you'll ever be able to completely do away with the coal industry. There's just too many specialized markets that it takes care of that nothing else would. Principally steel production, and to a lesser extent electricity, but it's always going to be an option there. So time will tell.
Okay. I would like to thank you for joining me today.
Sure. My pleasure. I enjoy talking about it. I don't get asked about it very often, so I'm always happy to talk about it.
So, all you need now is a couple $1 million worth of mining equipment and land, and you too can start your own coal mine. So everyone, make sure to join us again next time for our in-depth explanation of why humans eat more bananas than monkeys. Alright, thanks guys.